showtime. Woo, woo. Woo, 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 woo. Styling and profiling. Woo, woo, it's live and in color. Woo! 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 Slow down. Woo! 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 I'm styling and profiling. Woo! 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 Upside down. Woo! 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 Woo!
Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report. I am your host, Tommy, and this is Thursday Night Uncensored. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit that thumbs up. It will really help me out. Tonight, joining me, I have a special guest, and that is Jerick from JanceSports. What is up, Jerick? I appreciate you hopping on again with me on another Thursday Night Uncensored.
No problem, man. Just glad to be back here, man. Talk some Bills football and get ready for this Patriots game, man. It's going to be exciting to watch.
Yeah, hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah, man. Four in a row. We are going in with some momentum into the playoffs, which is huge, as you know, for any NFL team to go into the playoffs with a winning streak and a healthy team. Healthy offensive line, which is awesome. An offensive line that's finally got their act together, at least as good as it's going to get, until we add some pieces. But it's looking a lot better, Jerick. Jack coming in, California Bills Mafia checking in. Sup with it, Tommy? What is up, Jack? I appreciate you coming in. And yeah, let's get right into this, man. I didn't get to have a chance to talk to you last week about the Bills and the Jets. Bills beat the Jets 27-10. What is your thoughts about that game? Did you take anything from that game, good or bad?
Well, I'll start with some of the good things about it was that, again, we had another game with Devin Singletary, had a really, really good game. 19 carries for 88 yards, the fifth game of the season right now where he's had more than 14 carries. And one of the things that I've noticed about Devin Singletary is that he's had one game where he's had 14 carries where he didn't go over the 70-yard markage. Again, I think the lowest game he had was 14 carries for 79 yards. He had a game with 22 carries, 86 yards against the Carolina Panthers. And now with this particular game, another game where he's over that stretch, and he's once again shown that he can be that guy. Now, again, do I think he's Christian McCaffrey or he's Derrick Henry or Jonathan Taylor? No. But he's a good back. Where I think a lot of people kind of criticize him. They get on him because of his limit, because of the amount of carries that he has. Like, he averages around like 8 carries a game. Right. But again, yeah, I mean, is that his fault or is that Dable's fault for not kind of believing him and trusting him? And one of the things that we talked about was that we need to kind of, as much as we love Josh Allen, we can all agree that Josh Allen right now is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. But you don't have to put it all on his shoulders. Right, there are other weapons in this offense that can take that pressure away from Josh Allen. There is Devin Singletary. There are some of our other receivers and some of our offensive line that we need to kind of utilize their strengths to the best of our abilities, and we've kind of struggled to do that so far. So I think with Devin Singletary having another game over that 15 carry mark, maybe this is a theme now where Dable can start trusting Singletary, start relying a little bit more on the ground game, build some confidence up with this offensive line, because we're going to need it. It's not going to be a pretty situation with Josh Allen and this passing offense where they're just going to do whatever they want against this Patriots defense. We all know that Belichick is one of the best coaches in the NFL when it comes to making adjustments. We all know that he's going to have his answer for Josh Allen. So this is the perfect time for Devin Singletary to get in this hot streak, to build some confidence in this run offense, and hopefully we can try to go out there and establish dominance against a pretty good Patriots defense.
Yeah, dude, I could not agree with you more, especially about Singletary. Many people know how I feel about Devin Singletary. I've been a fan since he played for FAU. I actually got a FAU mini helmet signed by Motor Singletary, which is really cool. I tweeted out in the draft that I wanted the Bills to draft Singletary if he was available in the third round. I thought it would be a steal. He was a hell of a player in college. His name was Motor for a reason. They used him a lot at FAU. He made that team a lot better than what they were, to be real with you. And he got nothing but praise from his head coach. I believe it was Kiffin at the time. So what he accomplished in college, by the way, that's a D1 school. That wasn't like they were a D2 going against bums. Devin Singletary proved his work in college. I think it was over 5,000 rushing yards. So I said, hey, why not in the third round? Draft this guy. Let's see what he can do. It's a third round. Like, not a big deal. And we wound up drafting him. He had a very good rookie season. Average, I think he was 5.1 a carry, which is tied with Derrick Henry for running backs. And then he had a so-so second season. That's because maybe a little bit on him and a lot more on the coaching staff and the offensive line, choosing to kind of do a dual thing with him and Zach Moss. It was kind of sloppy a little bit there, especially with the offensive line run blocking. And I think they just went away from running, period. This season, I kind of felt like they were once again trying to go with that whole, we're going to have a split carry, whoever's hot. And it just doesn't work that way sometimes on certain teams. Certain teams aren't built that way. We are certainly not built that way to have a dual running back system. I felt like they should have gotten Singletary involved earlier in the season. Now you're seeing his work. Now when he gets the carries, when he gets his touches, when he's finally getting into the groove of running the ball, because you can't have 6 carries and get on a groove as far as a running back. They need carries. They need to get into a rhythm too, just like a quarterback. Now you're seeing it. Now you're seeing it also because the offensive line has improved as well. So I got to give a credit for the offensive line. But now you're starting to see the benefit of having Devin Singletary on the team. By the way, guys, let's be real. He was barely used, I would say, for almost 3/4 of the regular season, and he still got 870 yards, over 1,000 all-purpose yards. That's very good, guys, on an offensive line that was musical chairs all the way up until week 14, 15. I mean, guys,
just a mess.
Right. So let's give credit where credit is due, and give the man his dues. Devin Singletary is not a me guy; he's a team guy, and you guys should love that. And that's why I was I'll be real with you, disappointed in Bills Mafia for the last, I would say, 2 seasons now, on how they treated Devin Singletary and how they wanted to push him out so bad and wanted Moss to start and Breida was here. And I mean, a little disappointing, but I'm glad now Bills Mafia is seeing what this guy brings to the table. And we're going to use them in the playoffs. They better, because if they do not, we will have a short playoff run. I'm going to tell you the guys that right now. Hendog coming in. Our run game can open up the pass, and we have a balance as of late when it comes to the run pass. Yeah, see, I think it's the opposite. I like the pass open up the run, which is fine. That's still fine, but you got to run it, right? You can't just pass and run it 7 times. Like, they've been doing it better as of late, for sure. They're getting Singletary anywhere from 15 to 20 carries. I'm good with that. I'm cool with that. It was the 6 carries, the 5 carries, the 3 carries that were like, all right, like, we're never going to win that way. You can't do that.
Yeah, splitting with 2 backs.
Yeah, and with 2, right. It's wild. And not only that, you're going to get Josh Allen hurt. You cannot continue that Josh Allen runs. He's our lead stat guy and stats and running. I mean, you can't have that every season. It won't last, guys. Alpha Rob, running backs have to feel the defense. They get in the groove. 100%. That's what I'm saying. They got to get in the groove, just like a quarterback, guys. Right? They got to have touches, man, to get going in a game. That's how they all. Ask any running back in this league. That's how they get into the groove of the game, man. But yeah, other than that, man, 27-10, Jerick. The only thing I didn't like about the game was the start of the game. I thought Brian Dable once again was kind of going back to the overpassing, not using Devin Singletary early on. And then he got going. And then Brian Dable woke up. So it's like Brian Dable gets in these like moments, man, where it's scary. It's really scary.
We had it rough. It was just another rough start. And it was just, again, it's not following the simple principles. Instead, we wanted to overthink things. We wanted to try to, it's just, it's unbelievable to me, especially in these weather conditions. And I understand there's going to be Bills fans out there that's going to say, well, again, we shouldn't be too affected by the weather. But the fact of the matter is this offense wasn't built for this type of weather. It was built for warmer climates. And if you're not again following the simple, like the Jets have one of the worst rushing defenses in the National Football League. They have one of the best passing defenses in the National Football League. And we want to try to go to their strength because we want to try to play stubborn football than just following the simplistic things. It's just one of the things that just once again just continues to frustrate me, man. Brian Dable just continues to frustrate me.
Yep. Me too, man. It's like it's tough because I don't think he's an awful offensive coordinator, so a lot of people get that twisted when I talk badly about Dable. I think Dable's gotten better. I'll be real with you guys, but he still like gets stuck in his ways, and getting stuck in your own ways sometimes can really hurt a whole team. And that's what he does. He sets us back, and thank God, Jerick, we have a good defense. Because let's say we're going against let's say our defense is just not on that day and our offense is coming out like that, we're in trouble. And it goes back to the Tampa game. If we would have came out offensively like we did in the second half, we beat Tampa Bay. There's no problem with that. I think we beat Tampa Bay and we're all happy the next day. But because we came out with this Dable mindset, whatever his head was at, it was too late, a little bit too late. But like I said, I told everybody from that day forward, there was something about that game with the players, the coaches, everybody. It just seemed like a light went on and something happened, man, where I can't really explain it. All I can say is, as far as what I saw, Jerick, was heart and fight that I didn't see all season. And I kind of felt like the guys got together after that game. I really do. And the coaching staff as well. And they just said, let's just be us. Let's do what we do best. Let's get back to the Buffalo Bills football. And same thing with the head coach. I really, truly believe that, man. And let's get back to what works. And they tweaked it up a little bit. And they got Motor involved. And they got the jet sweeps back with Isaiah McKenzie. They got him more involved. So there was a lot really changed if you watch that game moving forward, especially on offense. A lot changed. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Again, I was wondering, like, when are we going to start seeing the jet sweeps again with Isaiah McKenzie? Because, again, Isaiah McKenzie had that huge game for the Patriots. And then all of a sudden the next week, he's not really featured that much. Now, again, it's Cole Beasley. He's one of the best slot receivers in the NFL. But still, I mean, you got to try to incorporate some way of having Isaiah McKenzie in the game. So I like the fact how we're starting to see a lot more different things that we just haven't seen before. And for the most part, I feel like, again, that can catch a defensive coordinator kind of thinking a little bit like, okay, where were these things out a little bit early in the season? This was not in tape. What's going on here? And it gets them thinking, and it gets them trying to try to make adjustments so they can try to prepare for you. And I think it just makes your offense look unpredictable. So I love the fact how we're implementing new ways to try to make this offense successful. The only thing I just question so much is that in certain situations, can Dable can he adjust to the moment of the game? Right? Is he going to continue to try to be stubborn a little bit and try to do things his own way? Or is he going to try to do what's the best interest of the entire team?
Right. No, I agree. And that's always been my problem with Dable. It's just he gets stuck in his own ways. Mm-hmm. And let's just hope, because this is it, guys. One and done. You lose, you're out. And we're going to be talking about off-season moves, right? So I don't want to be there. So let's just hope Dable and company, including Sean McDermott, by the way, is ready for this playoff run, because, he's a little to blame as well, as far as last season goes, and including this season. I'm not going to put everything on Dable on this offense, how this offense has performed, because I think McDermott has a little to say with that. I think McDermott tried to get Dable to get this offense working in a certain way, and it just wasn't built that way. And I think that's kind of set us back a little early on. But we'll see. Like I said, I like the moves, what we've done after that Tampa game, and I'm liking what I see, especially from the offensive line. And somebody brought up Ryan Bates earlier. I appreciate it. Alpha Rob, let me see here coming in. Let's see some of these. We have a lot of groceries to cook them all. Yep. Hen dog. Should we use McKinney like the 49ers use Debo? Different player. I think we should just use McKenzie how we've been using him. Jet sweeps, motions. Get him involved a little bit more on the offense as an over the top guy. Other than that, I'm good with his role. I like his role exactly where it is, man. Kick return and punt return is another story. Apparently, we are going Micah high on the safe bet, which is fine with me until we get that figured out. I thought Marquez would be the answer. Maybe he will be next season. But in this season right now, can't risk it. And the coach is not willing to risk that. I do want to get into some NFL news, guys, real quick. So, as you guys know, a lot of coaches were fired in this 2021 season. Exactly 8 of them.
You're fired.
You're fired. All right, so let's count them, guys. So today, Texans fire Coley after 1 season. Giants fired Joe Judge on Tuesday, which they kind of fucked him. He was like the only firing that day. So like the New York media was, they could have just fired him on Monday where it was a little less painful for the guy, but he's fired. Dolphins fire Flores, which is the shocker. I'll be real with you guys. Vikings fired Zimmer. Jaguars fired Meyer, which we know. Bears fired Nagy, which we all knew was coming. Vic Fangio was fired, which we all saw that as well. Raiders, obviously, Gruden got fired. Which one of these kind of shocked you?
I would definitely say Flores, even though now thinking about it, it's not that shocking. I think initially that was the shocking part. The most shocking part for me was that Chris Greer wasn't fired. I'm surprised he wasn't fired instead of Brian Flores. But yeah, definitely Brian Flores. But yeah, or both. Both of them should have been gone. I mean, Chris Greer again hired Adam Gates, hired Brian Flores. He messed up on a couple of those hires. Again, was responsible for drafting the wrong quarterback and getting Tua Tagovailoa. And I love Tua to death, but Justin Herbert was clearly the better quarterback, and that's something that they're going to have to regret for the next decade until they can eventually find that guy. So I'm more shocked that he wasn't fired, but Brian Flores, I can understand that. I mean, you can make an argument he kind of ruined the development for Tua. Now Tua, again, he's not special in any other way, but that entire situation with Ryan Fitzpatrick in the beginning, switching quarterbacks in and out, you can make an argument that it messed up their playoff chances, and then he did it the next year with Jacoby Brissett and Tua. It's just then again the offenses, the offensive scheme with Chan Gailey being hired there, and then he had to just try to hire somebody else to try to work with Tua and try to develop him, and then that wasn't really working out things too well. It was not. I think a lot of people look at the record instead of just looking at kind of like behind the scenes what was going on. I feel like behind the scenes it was a mess. Behind the scenes, it was something that was just dysfunctional. And I definitely felt like from an ownership perspective, they wanted to try to move on from that and find a coach that can try to get that straightened out. Now, I don't know if Tua is going to be the starting quarterback for next year. I think with Flores gone, I think it now kind of opens the doors for quarterback discussions in the draft. But I will say this. I mean, Brian Flores, he did get them to a 10-6 record. He did get them to a 9-8 record. He was one game away from making the playoffs in both situations, both seasons. So he can coach. Maybe it's just the leadership. Maybe it's just kind of what he does off the field that definitely needs to get worked on. But he's a young guy. He's going to get another opportunity. But yeah, the Brian Flores one definitely, I guess, shocked me at when that first kind of came out.
Yeah. I would say That I was surprised just because they won 8 out of their last 9. That is impressive. I thought he won 10 games last season, which was normally that will get you in the playoffs, but there was a lot of good teams last season, so they didn't get into the playoffs. I thought his first season, I thought he did okay for what he had. But there's a lot of rumblings about him as a head coach from players. A lot of players didn't like him. There was a lot of like locker room chatter from what I was told. And that could be because he's coming from Bill Belichick's hard-nosed kind of coaching system, and maybe players weren't buying into it or didn't like his style of, that Belichick way, that hard-nosed kind of style coaching. But then you got to take in factor, of course, you have the GM Greer. Are they not on the same page? Which clearly the reports came out that they weren't with the Tua drafting Tua. And then he came out and he hired 2 offensive coordinators, which didn't make any sense to me. To have 2 dual OC, just how's that going to help your rookie quarterback? It makes no sense. Just a lot of dysfunction, really, in Miami as far as even ownership. I don't understand what he's doing there. I don't see Greer working out either, because the next coach is, he's going to have to pretty much do what Greer says. It seems like that's the way things are going in Miami, but we'll find out. But either way, other than that, man, Nick Fangio, he's a good defensive he's a good defensive coordinator. Problem is he's just not built for being a head coach right now. Everybody else, Joe Judge, word out is welcome. Coley, I kind of felt like they put underneath they kind of threw him under the bus, man. One season, what are you going to do there? But hey, you know what? If they feel like he's not the guy, he's not the guy. I mean, I'm all good with that. I don't really, I don't hate that. If you're the owner, man, sometimes it is what it is. If you don't see it and it ain't there, then move on. Move on before you sink your ship a little bit too much, right? I felt like Buffalo, sometimes we stuck on to people a little bit too long as well.
We should have done with Rex Ryan. Ryan.
And I like Rex. I like Rex Ryan, but he just wasn't.
Oh yeah,
his time was done. Unfortunately, and it was kind of he was just grasping at straws at the end there, getting his brother here, and it was just like it's starting to become a joke, But there was other coaches that we had, Dick Geron. There was a lot that I was like, why is this guy around? Greg Williams. I can go on and on. But anyways, no, everybody on this list deserved probably to go, in my opinion. I do think, though, that Flores might get another opportunity. And if somebody did bring up above, and I did hear about this. Let me hear. Ray or Hendog. People are saying Dable should go to Miami to work with Tua. So reports came out that Dable and Frazier are getting interviewed by the Dolphins. That's interesting. I wonder, and that's a good point about the Tua because he was in Alabama. Mm-hmm. I wonder if they do go with Dable, though Dable was the offensive coordinator there, and he was fired after one season. So it is interesting, and a lot of Dolphin fans do not like Dable. So I don't know if they're going to be too happy with that. If I were them, I would take Frazier, but I have a feeling Frazier is going to go to Chicago. I just have a strong feeling that he's going to go there. And I would think Dable, honestly, if I'm Dable, I'm going to Minnesota. You got Justin Jefferson there. Hey, do you like the quarterback or not? You go get another quarterback, or you keep Cousins. But they got a decent offensive line. They got a decent offense, good receivers. I think Dable could do something there, but we'll see. As Dable as head coach, that's scary, though. I'll be real with you. Frazier as head coach, I'm all on board with. If I'm another team, I'm like, hey, Frazier. Oh yeah, Frazier. Dable, I'm like, ooh, I don't know.
He's not gonna be he's not gonna be a locker room guy or on the field guy.
No, golly, man. Other news that came out today, which is interesting. So the Colts GM, he won't commit. He's saying he won't commit right now to Carson Wentz in 2022. Yikes. What do you think about that, man?
I mean, it's the right decision. For the most part, if I'm keeping Carson Wentz, it's because I want to try to, I'm sitting a quarterback that I drafted, and I want to try to prepare that dude for the future. But yeah, Carson Wentz for the most part, he is a starting caliber quarterback, but he's not a long-term solution. I feel like that, unfortunately 2017 was the last year you kind of saw that from him. Unfortunately, he got hurt, I think, towards ACL literally the last week of the regular season. Otherwise, he would have been Super Bowl MVP, most likely in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. But it's just it's not going to work out for that. I think Colts fans, for the most part, they've been trying to convince all of us that Carson Wentz can be the franchise quarterback. And we're like, well, wait a minute, just be patient. Just be patient. Just wait. He's going to mess it up somehow. And then the Jaguars game came against the game that, again, all you had to do was beat the Jaguars. You're in the playoffs. And I'll be honest, I don't want to play the Colts again. I don't. No. I don't want to play the Colts again, especially at home. I don't.
I agree.
I would
100%.
I would if I'm a betting person, I would bet the Colts all day to beat the Bills, even in the second time around at our place. I think that would happen. But Carson Wentz messed it up. He wasn't the only one. Everyone had to definitely do his part, but he was the biggest reason why they messed it up. And huge. So I feel like for them, you just got to go in a different direction. You're literally just a quarterback away for potentially becoming a Super Bowl contending quarterback. I think this is the right way to part ways with Carson Wentz and try to get a quarterback that you can build for the future.
What the hell that is? Yeah, no, I agree. Listen, Carson Wentz, since he's been drafted, if we're going to be real, he's a good quarterback, but he comes up. He doesn't come up when he's needed. Big games that they need Wentz to step up. He just doesn't show up. Like he's like a non-factor. And once again, he's proven that on a whole different team. So it's not like people can say, "Oh, it's only in Philly, bad coach," whatever the hell you want to say, right? No, man. I just think something's up with him. He doesn't play to his potential. He doesn't play when it counts the most. Like he just doesn't show up to the dance. Let's put it that way. He comes to the dance in sweatpants, right? He's just like when everyone else is dressed up, like a bum, So I don't blame the Colts. They got to move on. And to your point about them facing them in the playoffs, I'll admit I was talking to Captain D today, which is he comes on my show on Saturdays, because he asked me, what team do you fear the most, like in the playoffs? And I told him, honestly, nobody, except for the Colts if they would have made it. And it's not about fear. I think it was more about, hey, they could beat us. And that's not fear. That's more like, hey, out of everyone, I would say they are the most dangerous against our team. They are built for Buffalo weather. Like that's a team that's built in our environment. But we won't be seeing them. So adios. See you later. Let's see here. Did we pick up Shaq Lawson? So there was reported that we did, and now no, there's no confirmation that we have. So as of right now, the answer is no, we have not. And I was going to get to that. Your thoughts on the Shaq Lawson potentially signing him back to Buffalo?
It could be good. Again, he's not a guy that's going to get you double-digit sacks, but when he was here in Buffalo, he was a phenomenal edge defender. He was the dude that took away one side of the field. At least when you try to go out to the outside, he was dominant. And he was a guy that did after the quarterback. I think he had 6 or 7 sacks with close to 20 tackles for loss during his final year in Buffalo, which got him that huge contract in Miami. So,
yep.
If he does come to Buffalo, he knows the system. Well, that's if Leslie Frazier's still here. He knows the system. He knows what Sean McDermott wants, what he expects from his players. I think that's a guy that, that I think will automatically get respect. He'll be more of a leadership, more of a veteran presence to a lot of these younger guys like Boogie Basham, Gregory Rousseau, and AJ Epinesa. And I just think, again, another benefit just adds depth. Worst case scenario, it adds depth more to your locker room. And I feel like it'll be a decent signing. I think it'll be a 1 year, maybe $5 million, maybe $2 million.
Yeah.
It'll be a low contract type of deal.
Yep.
But I think for the most part, you just have a player that knows the system, knows what Buffalo's all about, knows what Sean McDermott expects from his players, and he's a guy that I think is just going to perform. He's going to be comfortable here.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it hurts at all, depending on the money. And remember, guys, injuries happen. And I heard people on Twitter the other day were like, "Oh no, I don't." He's going to take away time from this guy and this guy. No, he's not, because he probably won't even play unless there's an injury. Let's be real. Like, they're not going to just throw him in to start. Like, that's not happening. He probably won't even be a rotational player, but he'll be on the practice squad and he'll be waiting in case something happens, which, guys, it does. Things happen. Injuries happen, right? So, yeah, I would love for him to be there available if we need it. To your point, he knows the system. McDermott likes him very, very much. So he came out and said so when they asked about him on Monday, when the rumors were out there, or, that he got released or whatever. So they like him, and I think they would be willing to take him back. But it's about money, and what he's probably willing to take, to be honest with you, as of right now. So we'll see, man. We'll see how that works out. But right now, no, he is not signed yet. I do want to say something real quick, guys, that's non-football related real quick. On Wednesday, I found out that a childhood friend of mine passed away suddenly, 43 years old. His name was Rich. May he rest in peace. So I just wanted to say that real quick. And it's, guys, tomorrow's not guaranteed. So just live your life, live for the moment, and try to be as good as a person as you could be, because that really hit home, guys. It really, really hit home for me. That, my God, like 43, and that's it. And he's up in heaven right now. Also, Bob Saget, rest in peace, Bob Saget. That was a shocker to everybody. I think he was like 62. Died alone in a hotel room. That's just sad. And good guy. May he rest in peace as well. So just want to throw that out there, guys. I know it's not football related, but just something that happened this week. It kind of was like a bummer, Your thoughts on Bob Saget? I know you don't know my buddy Rich, but you know anything about Bob Saget?
Yeah, man, I grew up watching Full House. Again, Nick at Night. Just kind of grew up watching that for the most part. So it was a big part of my childhood. One of my favorite shows growing up, and yeah, just to hear about that was shocking. That was definitely really, really shocking, man. That was very, very, very similar to we got Betty White. She passed away. I mean, of course, you knew her time was she's really, really old, but
100 years old, I think 99.
Yeah,
it was a day before her 100th birthday. Yeah,
she's close
lived
to
her
it,
life.
She lived her life. Yeah, she lived a great, wonderful life with Bob. With Bob Saget. I mean, even being in your 60s, that's still a little young, man.
That's very young.
That's still young. And that's just really, really sad. It's really, really sad, man, overall. So yeah, that definitely kind of hit home a little bit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it just it's like I said, guys, tomorrow's it's not guaranteed, man. So just try to be as good as a person as you can be, and love each day you're here, man. Like I said. Moving forward, let's get to the Bills and the Patriots preview. And guys, I told you guys this a lot. I told you guys this the second time we played them. The first time we played.
It's not going to be any picnic, brother. It's going to be a war.
Yes, it's going to be a fucking war out there. We are coming to play. They are coming to play. This is a Bill Belichick New England Patriots team. And trust me, he will have his troops ready. And Sean McDermott will have our troops ready. And I'll get right to it, man. Jerick, how do you see this game going? What is the keys to victory for the Buffalo Bills?
The Bills, Devin Singletary needs to have 20 carries. He has to have 20. This is going to be a cold ass game. 4 degrees by kickoff.
Yep.
4 degrees. It's only going to get as high as 11 degrees. And if anyone has been to Orchard Park before, that stadium's windy. It's a very windy stadium, man. We got the lake effect. It's the wind. It's going to be a mix of snow and rain. And then you have to add in the temperatures. It is not going to be a good day for football. So you have to add that into there. But this is a game where I think Devin Singletary, you got to run the football. You cannot throw the football 35, 40 times in these weather conditions. You have to try to keep it a little bit simplistic there. But for the most part, we have to we got to feature our weapons. Isaiah McKenzie, again, include the jet sweeps, include the motions, get him a little bit more involved in the passing attack in the slot. Try to get him in those short intermediate behind the scenes. Have Cole Beasley does what he does. But we need to be. This is a game where I think that being simplistic, I think it's going to help you win the game. I think overthinking it, again, you're facing the Patriots. It's Belichick. You're at home. It's going to be full capacity, even with the weather. You're going to overthink things. This is you just can't. You can't do it. You got to stick to what made Buffalo successful. You got to stick to what makes Buffalo one of the best teams in the NFL. And again, if we have to kind of put the work on for Josh Allen, then I guess you have no choice but to try to do that. But if we're in a situation where we know that Josh Allen doesn't have to be in that situation where he has to, again, be that workhorse for your team, then again, we have other weapons that we can try to rely upon. We have other weapons that can get the job done, that have proven that they can get the job done against the New England Patriots. We already seen it happen before the second time we play them. We just have to utilize our weapons, utilize our best strengths. Again, try to throw Belichick and this defense off guard. Force Mac Jones to throw the football. You already know what Bill Belichick is doing. They're running the ball. Mac Jones had 35 passing attempts last game. That's going to be cut down by probably at least, I would say, 22 to 23 passing attempts.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to establish the ball. Stevenson's back. Bolden's back. They're going to rotate all three of those guys. They have a very physical offensive line. They're going to run the football. They're going to try to wear down this Bills defense. It's already happened before. So if we can make Mac Jones throw the football, limit those 2-3 yard runs, instead of those huge 5-6 yard gaps that New England had the first time, I think Buffalo can get back into winning this game. But there's no question that Belichick, he's going to bring the best. Josh McDaniels is going to use everything he has on the table to try to make Mac Jones as successful as possible. But it is going to be a war out there, man.
Glad to have you in Apex, by the way. That's my hashtag sports. I'm on Friday at 7:30. Tailgate Talk. That is my partner in crime. Appreciate you hopping on. I do want to listen, guys, real quick. I'm sorry to switch the subject. I meant to tell you guys this in the beginning of the episode. I got good news, man. I am having a former Buffalo Bills player on as a special guest later on this month. I don't know the exact date and time yet. I will let you guys know when that will be. I will tweet it out. I'll also put it on here. Marques Sullivan. He was a 5th-round draft pick, an offensive lineman, played right guard for the Buffalo Bills in 2001 to 2003. I think he was with us for 3 seasons in total. And it's going to be a great interview, guys. I'm going to be talking a lot about that 2002 Buffalo Bills team, which you guys know very well. Eric Moulds, Peerless Price, Drew Bledsoe, Travis Henry, a sick offense, and we went 8-8. I'm going to get a lot of info from him. Just in general. So guys, I'll let you know when that's going to happen. It's big news for me. And I hope you guys come on and watch that episode. Let's get back to it real quick. So, guys, by the way, I had as you guys know, I do security at a bar on Tuesday and Wednesday night, and I caught a New England Patriots fan in my bar. Hey, man. You're wearing that Patriots hoodie?
Dude, get that out.
All right, man, let's go. I'm going to have to ask you to leave, man.
Get this shit up.
I'm going to have to ask you to leave, bro.
Push this shit on this guy's head.
I know. When you're the bouncer at a bar, guys, you can do what you got to do, right? Nah, it was all love, though. He was pretty cool about it. That wasn't. I'm in Detroit, guys. He was. I was like, "What the fuck? This guy wearing a Patriot hoodie?" I have my Bills hat on. I always rock my Bills hat, and he was like, "Oh, what the fuck, man?" But at first, he was like, But man, that shit was great, guys. Let's see here. Scott Blakely, yeah, it's a typical narrative. Apex, whether okay, they're talking about. All right, you guys are talking amongst each others. So yeah, basically, guys, he hit the nail on the head. So what I would do, this is my keys to victory. Very, very simple, bro. Come out. The offense has to show out. They have to run, and they got to score first. They got to get on the board, and let the Patriots play catch up. Let Mac Jones have to be the one to beat you, which is not going to happen. Mac Jones is not going to beat this Buffalo Bills defense. The only way we lose this game, in my opinion, is if the Buffalo Bills offense stalls out. And then you're going to see another score like a 14-10, which I don't see happening. All right. I really, truly believe now they have a little bit more faith in Devin Singletary. I think they have a little bit more faith in this offensive line that they can run block better. As long as Dable gets his head out of his ass and doesn't have Josh Allen throw 25 times in the first half, something ridiculous like that. He did that in the Jets game. He had him throwing 20 times. I was like, what are you doing? Like, what? Why? Like, against the worst running defense, you're having Josh Allen throw repetitive over and over and over and over. It's like, listen, defenses, they're not dumb. They eventually go, okay, they're not running. They are not running. We're just going to blitz the hell out of them. We're going to play a zone, and we're going to fall back. It's just like and it's crazy that Dable doesn't see this sometimes, and he continues to go with that play calling. So hopefully he doesn't. Hopefully we come out with a little aggression, and like I said, kind of mix it up a little bit in the beginning, right? And like I said, I don't even care if we get Allen passing a little bit more than running. That's fine. I'm good with that. I'm good with in this game, I'm good with the 65, 35, something like that, 60-40, about a 60-40 split. I'm cool with that, something like that. But I think you got to give Singletary in this game with this kind of weather, I would say anywhere between 17 and 24 carries. Somewhere around there. I'm comfortable with that. 17 to 24. Let Allen throw about 25 to 27, 25 to 30 pass attempts. I am good with that kind of game plan. And you got to really get Isaiah McKenzie involved as well. Isaiah McKenzie was huge the second game. They had no answer for him. If I am Brian Dable, I am putting Isaiah McKenzie in the same kind of routes that he did with Cole Beasley doing in the game as well, doing his slants. Because if you watch that game, McKenzie was not doing Beasley plays. He wasn't playing Beasley's role at all. He was almost doing like a backyard type of football where Josh was buying time and McKenzie was just getting open for him. And that's what speed does. Speed kills, guys. And that's what McKenzie has. He has speed. And I don't think the Patriots can match up well, especially now that Beasley is going to be back because Beasley was not there, right? So now Beasley's there. So now you got to count on Beasley in the slant. You got to count McKenzie. I think we're very dangerous if we play it right. And yes, to my score prediction, it's not going to be crazy score. However, I don't think it's going to be that low of a score either. I'm going to say 27 to 14. 27-14, guys. I think we control this game. I think we controlled the last game. I thought we could have beat them the first game if we would have played right. If Dable, got his head out his ass once again. And I think we can beat the Patriots. I do. I think we're a better team overall. I think we have a way better quarterback. I think we got way better wide receivers than they do. They're a little bit more deeper in running back, but it's not great running backs. They're good, but we have a good running back too, as you guys see now. Devin Singletary can run the ball well, and I expect Devin Singletary to have anywhere between 80 to 120 rushing yards, and at least a touchdown. That's how I see it. And also, I don't mind having Josh Allen running this game as well. I don't, as long as you run him to the outside. Stop running him in the middle. I cannot take those quarterback draw plays anymore. Can't do it. I can't. You're going to get him killed. They don't work half the time. He's getting swallowed up by 300-pound linemen. It just doesn't make sense to me. We are way better when we run to the edge. Our running attack is way better, and Josh Allen running. Other than that, I would let Josh be Josh. Josh does his best runs when they're not scripted. When he's just like, hey, he looks at his reads and goes, you know what? I'm gone. Those are the ones that get 30 yards, 40 yards, not the design runs. The design runs, most of the time, especially up the middle, they don't work. So that's how I see this game going, and hopefully Dable can do that. As far as defensively goes, I think we will handle our business. I'm going to be real, guys. We have an excellent defense. We're not ranked number one for no reason. We were number one pretty much the whole season, guys. Pretty much the whole season. We have a very good defense that I think is very overlooked, to be honest with you. We have the best safety duos in the NFL. They are not going to let Mac Jones beat us. As far as stopping the run, we just can't. The main thing is don't over pursue. Don't over pursue, and you'll be fine. That's it. Don't give up the big 40-yard run. Don't over pursue. And that's the only thing that caught us the last time. We over pursued, and he ran for 65-yard run. Other than that, once we knuckled down in that game, they were averaging like 3 yards a carry. It was fine. That's why it baffles me every time people are like, oh, we got killed. We got killed. They ran for 200. Guys, they averaged like 3.5 that game. It wasn't – they scored 14 points. I'll take it all day. It was our offense that was the problem. 14-10, we should have won that game. Like, come on, guys. So, that's how I see it going, man. Let me get to some of these chats, man. And dog, Ed and Harry are going to eat. Hey, listen, Phillips has been playing great. How do you feel about Phillips, man, his play?
Man, I've been shocked. I was shocked when he turned it around very, very quickly. He's been a very, very important part to our defense. Again, he's been playing that star role, but they also kind of play him as some 3 technique, and he's been dominant. He's been really, really good. And I don't know. We haven't been playing any good running offenses besides the New England Patriots, but Harrison Phillips looks like he's just turned a corner, and we're gonna need him. We're gonna need him for this football game, because this is gonna be a team that's most likely they're gonna run the ball at least 30 times. That's probably gonna be their goal. We all know Josh McDaniels. He's gonna want to try to keep the ball away from Mac Jones as much as possible, especially in these weather conditions. And to have a guy like Harrison Phillips that's kind of held his own, that has demanded double teams, and I think it just frees up everyone else. I think Harrison Phillips has been a great compliment to Ed Oliver, and if Harrison Phillips can just keep it up, we have a great chance to win. Yeah,
and Alpha coming in, our D-line is playing with a lot of confidence. They are. I gotta say, they stepped it up. It's weird, both lines, if you think about it, right, Jerick? Yeah. Offensive line and defensive line, they both are starting to actually play some hard-nosed football. They're starting to win in the trenches. And it's really good to see. The only guy I will say that's really still kind of disappointing me, if I have to be real with you guys, is Star Lotulelei. The only guy that's really – he just hasn't done much this season, and I don't know if bringing him back. I mean, he's due one more season. He's on contract for one more season, but it's just like he's a shell of himself. I'll be real with you guys. I don't know what happened that time off. He lost some weight. At this point, I'm more comfortable with Harrison Phillips over Star playing, because just the way Harrison he has a high motor right now. He's getting to the quarterback. He's stopping the run. He's playing very well next to Ed Oliver, and Ed Oliver is having a phenomenal year, guys. His motor is it is high, and it is running like that dude. I love Ed Oliver, man. I love everything about him, really. Honestly, love his personality. I love his play on the field. And by the way, shout out to Mario Addison, who once again led the team in sacks. And he just comes to play. I know he's not what he used to be, guys. He's a veteran. We all know that, but he still brings it. You got to give him credit where credit is due. Other than that, man, our D-line is finally playing with some toughness, and that's good to see. Just don't over pursue. And by the way, Tremaine Edmonds playing like a mad dog too. I love Tremaine Edmonds. It's going to be interesting on his contract. what they do there. Matt Milano has been playing phenomenal this season, guys. He's lived up to his contract. He's outplayed his contract, in my opinion. Great signing, Matt Milano. Other than that, man, a shame we don't have any Pro Bowlers on this defense. Unbelievable.
None. No Micah Hyde, no Poyer.
Slap in the face. But that's normal, guys. Come on. If you're Bills Mafia, we've been down this road before, right? Come on now. We get disrespected all the time. So fuck that Pro Bowl shit. Let's go win a chip. Let's go win that trophy, right? And let's just show the world what we're about. And that's it, man. To be honest with you, man, the All-Pro is much better, and hopefully they make that and create an all-Madden team in the future, man. And let that matter. The Pro Bowl, leave that for the kiddies, man. I don't care about the Pro Bowl anymore. I really don't, man. And neither should the players, if it's real. Players should say, could care less. I'd rather get the Nickelodeon trophy. I mean, same shit. Jack, I don't know what he's talking about. Okay. Barbecue, ribs, chicken, and burgers, and lots of beer. Yes, 100%. What
no.
I never asked you. What's your game day like ritual? What do you do, Jerick? Like, what do you get wings? What do you drink on beer? Like, what do you do like to prepare for a Buffalo Bills game?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I just get Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons. Okay.
That's my thing. Tim Hortons, dog. I get myself some Timbits, get myself a little bit of coffee, and then for the most part, I'm in my robe, man. I'm relaxing. I'm relaxing to the Bills game. Though when I go to games, it's a different story. That's where you got to get the wings, you got to get the barbecue, and you have when it's a little warmer out there. Of course, you get yourself I'm trying to think what we had when we tailgated when oh my God, we had some. No, someone actually made sushi. It was like this Japanese restaurant that came down and they made sushi and tailgating. It was awesome. But yeah, it's a different story when you go to a game. I stay home in this weather. Tim Hortons all day.
Yeah, me guys, I get up early and just get some McDonald's, breakfast or whatever. Eat that because I know I'm about to drink like a motherfucker. And I can't.
There you go.
I can't drink on an empty stomach, though. You know what I mean? So I eat early, start to drinking around 12:30, and then when the game's over or at halftime, I get a sandwich or something small or pizza or whatever. So and then after the game is when I kill it because I'm buzzing and I'm feeling good. Now, if we lose, man, I don't know. Then I'm just pissed. I don't even.
That's where the drinking goes on.
Right.
That's where the liquor comes on.
Yeah, I come on here a curse. You see the angry Tommy come on here, but nah, man, ain't gonna be no anger. And by the way, guys, I am 4-0 now in my Peerless Price jersey. The price has been so right. So let's keep that momentum going for the Peerless Price jersey and hope that thing just stays on for the rest of the year and we win that Super Bowl. But let's see here. Tom's coming in. Let's fucking go Buffalo. Hell yeah, man. Let's fucking go. Other than that, listen, JanceSports, Jerick, my man, I appreciate you hopping on. Tell the folks here where they can find you at, man.
Yeah, so you guys can find me at Twitter, Jan716. You guys can hit me up anytime. I always kind of read the DMs there. Follow me on Instagram, JanceSports. And then also, my YouTube channel, JanceSports. You guys can check me out there. For the most part, I do reactions. I talk a lot of Bills content. I love college football, so I mostly talk about college football, but I try to get into as much as football and Bills talk as I possibly can. But yeah, if you guys want to hit me up, again, just hit me up on my social medias. You can also follow me at, you can also, again, if you want to, as far as trying to get more into contact with me, you can also hit my email up at Jerick577@outlook.com or Jerick946@gmail.com. If you guys want to, that's just an easier way for you guys to try to get to me. I always kind of look at my emails almost every single minute as I possibly can. So that's where you guys can find me. And again, if you guys want to talk football, hit me up. I'm always down.
Yeah, man. It's been awesome. Coming here talking with you, man. He's a great guy. Mafia. Go there representing him, please, man. Show him some love. He is an Alabama fan, so he really needs this love more than ever.
I
now.
do, man. I really
Yeah,
do.
he had a tough week. So go there, show him some love. Other than that, guys, I will be actually right now. Let me tell you guys something real quick. I am going on right after this at 8:00, which is 5 minutes. I am going on. I have been invited to go on, and I'll tell you the name because I just linked up with them today. Rally Towel Sports. So Rally, Rally, Towel, like a towel, Sports. So look for them on YouTube. Rally Towel Sports. I'm going to go on there representing Bills Mafia to the fullest. I'm going on there in 5 minutes, guys. So hop on to the YouTube, Rally Towel Sports. Like I said, I'm going on in 5 minutes. Tomorrow, I will be on hashtag Tailgate Talk at 7:30 with Mikey Apex, as you guys know. Saturday, post game, I will be on hashtag. All of us will be hashtag sports. Mario, Paul, me, Mikey, Joe, right after the game on Saturday night. So check us out post game. I'll be there. Other than that, guys, go Bills. I appreciate you guys once again for everybody for coming in. Dwight, Scott, Jack, Thomas, all y'all, man. Thank you. Bills Mafia #1. We are out of here. Peace out.
God bless America and God bless Ric Flair. Go for it. Woo! Styling and profiling. Woo! 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 I've lost it. I've lost reality. And when I lose reality, somebody else pays the price of a lifetime. Woo! 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 Woo!